Shalom. Call Hello Allah Yahweh by Shem Yahushua, which means all praises to Yahweh, which is the true name of the Heavenly Father, who you people ignorantly call God, by Hashem, in the name of Yahushua, which is the name of the only begotten Son, who you people ignorantly call Jesus Christ. Those are the true names of the Heavenly Father and the Son. Plus, I want to give a shout out to the Alvin that's pushing and spreading this word throughout the four corners of the earth, who's also uplifting the names Yahweh by Shem Yahushua. Also, to the Israelite friends, the speckled bird, man, woman, and child out there whose bloodline traces back to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Okay, our forefathers, though you may look like the heathen nations are the nations as you see on the table of nations right here. The heathen nations are the nations starting from 2 on down. Also, if I'm about to get on the other chart, if your seed line goes back to these tribes through the man, as you see on this chart, and if your spirit bear witness with this word and this truth, and you can receive it to the speckled bird, man, woman, child out there, if this does apply to you, you are Israelites. Though you may look like the heathen nations once again due to the scattering of the Israelites, as the people you see on this chart. To the few Akwaf that do listen and learn, you sisters that do listen and learn, which that is what it is, shalom to you as well. To you so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans, you combine, consist, and make up the 12 tribes of Israel. You are the Hebrew Israelites, the chosen people, the Most High Yahweh and His only begotten Son, Yahweh Shah. Also, shalom to the elect out there. And I have an article, basically what I seen going into what's going on in Haiti. Hold on, let me type it back in. I might not read the whole article. Let me see. It's probably gonna log me off. Yep, New York Times be tripping, right? Going into these so-called United Nations peacekeepers, okay, these troops, okay. But I'm gonna title this lesson "The Wheat," which the wheat, okay, is the Israelites, you so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans, and you got the tares, which the tares are the seed of the heathen, mainly the wicked, which the wicked are you Edomites, you so-called white people. It says UN peacekeepers fathered hundreds of children in Haiti. And you so-called Haitians, as you saw on the chart, you're from the tribe of Levi, okay? And UN peacekeepers fathered hundreds of children in Haiti. Mission report says. It says United Nations peacekeepers fathered hundreds of children during a controversial mission in Haiti. A report has found. And who runs the United Nations? These Edomites, man. Okay? You got all these heathens, okay? They run the United Nations. You don't see a so-called black man, okay, in the United Nations. Okay, I'm talking about the actual so-called Negroes. Okay? I'm not talking about them Hamites. Okay? You don't see any of the Israelites in the UN. Okay? Researchers from the University of Birmingham and Ontario University spoke to 2,500 people in Haiti, asking them about the experience of the UN stabilization mission in Haiti, which became one of the longest running peacekeeping missions. More than 10%, 265 people described stories which featured children fathered by peacekeeping agents. Bunch of damn heathens. It says, researchers said a common theme in the stories was transactional sex, with peacekeepers paying young women and leaving after a baby was fathered. Peacekeepers were frequently repatriated after a pregnancy was made known. In one instance, a 14-year-old girl became pregnant after getting involved with a Brazilian soldier who was working as a peacekeeper. So that's an Israelite, right? He told her he would help with the child, but left the country. She has not received any support from the UN or the Haitian state and cannot afford to send her son, now 4 years old, to school after being kicked out of her family home. The report published the conversation found that a handful of the cases involving pregnancy came from rape. The stories which emerged ranged from instances of sexual violence to accounts of relationships with soldiers, even those who cited rumors that some women wanted to date fair-skinned UN peacekeepers because fair skin were seen as desirable. And basically, what's that considered? Light skin, but mainly, so-called white skin, if you put it that way, okay? Because this is the Edomite kingdom, okay? This is the Edomite kingdom. Edomite supremacy is what you're seeing. Okay, that's why you see all the women dyeing their hair blonde. That's why you seeing them bleaching their skin. Okay, it's because Edomites are ruling. Okay, it says Menusta ran from 2004 until 2017, became the longest running mission in Haiti by the UN. It was originally implemented to deal with political instability and organized crime, but its mandate spread after the 2010 earthquake and the 2016 hurricane. And children falling from peacekeeping soldiers even ended up with the nickname Petit Menusta. One married man from Siloli, I believe, told researchers they sleep with the women, they take their pleasure with them, they leave children in their hands and give them 500 gourds, about $3.95. Wow. Wow. That's enough. Enough said, okay? This is let me go in the blue letter. I'm gonna just make this point clear because you got a lot of people that's confused out there because they believe that there's a such thing as a so-called mixed race. Okay, there's no such thing as a mixed race. Okay, you got you have people that say my mom is Chinese and my father's, let's say for instance, my mom's Chinese, my father's a so-called white man, Edomite, right? So that makes me half, okay, Chinese, and that makes me half white. No, that doesn't exist. Okay? That's what the so-called white man he deceived the world in believing that there's mixed races. No, you don't have mixed races. The scriptures say this clearly. This is Numbers 1:18, right? It says, I'll start at 16. These were known of the congregation, princes of the tribes of their fathers, head of thousands in Israel. And Moses and Aaron took these men, which are expressed by their names, and they assembled all the congregation together on the first day of the second month. And they declared their pedigrees after their families by the house of their fathers. Okay, let me repeat that. They declared their pedigrees after their families by the house of their fathers according to the number of the names from 20 years old and upward by the polls. Okay? So your lineage, okay, your true identity, your true nationality goes by, okay, what your father is. It does not go by what your mom is. Okay? But Esau, he got the so-called, DNA kits, the DNA tests. He got all this madness. Okay? You are what your father is. Okay? So if you, okay, are like for instance, if you are so-called, let's use our people. If you are a so-called black woman, right? On your outward appearance, you might be a so-called black woman. But if your father, okay, is a pure Edomite, okay, then that makes you an Edomite. Okay, you're just a dark-skinned Edomite. That's all it is to it, man. Okay, the same thing on the flip side. And I'm about to, make this, a both, okay, a lesson about how I start my video off talking about the speckled bird, man. Okay, the confusion of face. Okay, let me get that real quick. Actually, I believe it's Daniel's the 9th chapter. Yep, Daniel's 9:7. Right? This is why this was said. It says, this is Daniel's 9:7. O Lord, righteousness belongeth unto thee, but unto us confusion of faces, as at this day to the men of Judah and to the inhabitants of Jerusalem, and unto all Israel that are near and that are far off, through all the countries whither thou hast driven them, because of their trespass that they had trespassed against thee. And that was one of the curses that the Lord will scatter us amongst all the other nations. Okay? Our people are amongst all these other nations. And what do our people do? When they're amongst these other nations, they have, children, okay, by the heathen women. And you see our women having children by the heathen. So really, if I'm gonna let the scriptures do it. O Lord, to us belong confusion of face, to our kings, to our princes, and to our fathers, because we have sinned against thee. Okay? So that's what you're seeing. Okay? A speckled bird. Let me get that scripture. Actually, let me get because our people, that's nothing new. Our people do that, been doing that. Okay? Let me see. Let me see. Is this it? Yep. This is Judges 3:1. It says, now these are the nations which the Lord left to prove Israel by them, even as many of Israel as had not known all the wars of Canaan. Okay, the Canaanites were the Hamites. Okay, so-called the South people of South Africa, right? Only that the generations of the children of Israel might know to teach them war, at least such as be before knew nothing thereof. Namely, 5 lords of the Philistines, Hamites, and all the Canaanites, Hamites, and the Sidonians and the Hivites that dwelt in Mount Lebanon, from Mount Baal-Hermon onto the entering in of Hamath. And they were to prove Israel by them, to know whether they would hearken unto the commandment of the Lord, which he commanded their fathers by the hand of Moses. And the children of Israel dwelt among the Canaanites, Hittites, Amorites, Perizzites, Hivites, and Jebusites, all heathens, right? And they took their daughters to be their wives, and gave their daughters to their sons, and served their gods. Okay? So, that's what you see now. Okay, you might be out in public, and, you'll see Jake. Now you're starting to see, because it's really Deuteronomy 30:7 kicking in. You're seeing Jake, okay, Israelite men with Edomite women, okay. I've been noticing that out in public. Okay, of course, you see Israelite women, okay, with Edomite men. You see them with all these different heathens, okay. And like I said earlier, you are what your father is, according to Numbers 1:18, okay. So the Israelite men, no matter who the Israelite man, lay down with, okay, and have a baby with, if that baby, when that baby comes out, it is an Israelite, no matter what it looks like, okay. You have Israelites, like for instance, who was I gonna say? It slipped my mind. Okay, I've slipped my mind. Damn, just slipped my mind. Okay, let me get something real quick. Yep, Blake Griffin. Blake Griffin is a perfect example. Okay, you look at Blake Griffin. Okay, what did Blake Griffin look like? Blake Griffin, if you stand from a distance, he could pass for an Edomite, right? Look at him. See him? That's Blake right there, right? But if you go into his bio real quick, if you go into this dude's bio, actually, you know what? I don't even gotta go in this bio. Let's look up Blake Griffin's father. Blake Griffin's father. That's his father right there. The dude on the left. His father is a Haitian, a so-called Haitian. He's a Levite. And his mom, I believe, she's just a regular Edomite. Okay? So who does he look more like? He looks more like his mom. Okay? He looks more like an Edomite. But his bloodline goes back through his father. So what is his father? I mean, what does that make him? A Levite. Okay? You're going to have a lot of Israelites like that. You're going to have Israelites, okay, that look like Moabites, but they're really, Israelite. They're really Jake. Okay? That's why I'm about to get the scripture that I'm about to get. You also gonna have heathen that look like so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans, man. You got dark-skinned Edomites, man. You gonna have Edomites that look like Wesley Snipes, man. okay? But if their bloodline goes back, okay, to a heathen, then they are heathen, okay? They're not our people, okay? This is Hosea 1:10. Yet the number of the children of Israel shall be as the sand of the sea, which cannot be measured nor numbered. Okay? And what can you, if you try to count every tiny grain in the sand of the sea, you can't do it. That's how many Israelites are on this planet. We're the most, okay, populated. We're the most, okay, we're the biggest population on this planet. They'll tell you that China, okay, or Japan, they have the largest population. That's not true. Okay, there's more Israelites on the planet, okay, than there is any other nation. Of all nations that's created, there's more Israelites on the planet, okay? But we look, okay, due to the mingling with these other nations, we look like the other nations, okay? Yahweh Ratazah, you know, anybody is watching, you understand, okay? This is Jeremiah 12:9. Mine heritage is unto me as a speckled bird. The birds round about are gathered against her. Come ye assemble all the beasts of the field, come to devour. The point was, my heritage is unto me as a speckled bird, man. And if you got a bird and it's got different, it's polka dot up, right? What does that show you? It's different color polka dots, man. Okay? That's how the Lord's heritage is on to him. You got real light Israelites and you got real dark Israelites. Okay? You got all types of color Israelites. You got all types of Israelites that look all types of ways, man. Okay? And we're at the sand of the sea, man. We're all over the place. You might walk past somebody that look like a heathen, but he could be an Israelite, okay? Because Israelites have a different vibration from these heathens, and they know that, okay? Like a lot of people, them Irish people, a lot of them are Israelites, okay? If you go down in Italy, like Sicily, Italy, a lot of those are Israelites, okay? That's why Al Capone them, I believe they mayor, if it was his mayor or their government, I believe it was a mayor, how he called them the niggas of Sicily, okay? Because they most likely could be Israelites, okay? They have the spirit of an Israelite. These heathens know the type of spirit that you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans have that is different from them, okay? Let me see. Let me type in wheat. Bear with me real quick. I believe this is it right here. This is Yep, this is Matthew 13:24. It says, another parable put he forth unto them, saying, the kingdom of heaven is likened unto a man which soweth good seed in his field. Okay? And it says, in according to scriptures, the kingdom of heaven dwelleth in you. Who is it going to dwell in? It's going to dwell in the elect. Okay? The nation of Israel, who are all Israelites, man. The kingdom of heaven is for you Israelites. Okay? Nothing else. Okay? This is the 25th verse. It says, but while men slept, his enemy came and sowed tares among the wheat and went his way. Okay? And who is the enemy? The enemy are these heathen nations to you so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans, according to Psalms, the 83rd chapter. Okay? And who was the main enemy? Okay? That was amongst our people and laid, and laid and raped our women and had tares. And I'm about to get the word tear. It's Zezanion, right? And here's the definition of a tare. It says, a kind of darnel resembling wheat, except the grains are black. Right? It says, of uncertain origin, darnel or false grain, okay? Going into, you have, people out here that look like so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans, but they're really heathens, okay? It's the same thing on the flip side. You got heathens that, you got Israelites that look like heathens, but they're really Israelites, okay? So that's what this is going into, okay? And what did Esau do when he brought us over here? He raped a lot of our women, okay? So a lot of our women had kids by him, and they might have came out, looking like the mom. They might have came out looking like the Israelite woman. Woolly hair, okay, fair, light skin, dark skin, okay? But they're Edomites, man. They're a tear, man. The wheat, okay, are you Israelites? And it says, this is the 26th verse. It says, but when the blade was sprung up and brought forth fruit, then appeared the tares also. So the servants of the householder came and said unto him, Sir, didst not thou sow good seed in thy field? From whence then have it tares? And he said unto them, An enemy hath done this. The servants said unto him, When wilt thou then that we go and gather them up? But he said, Nay, lest while ye gather up the tares, ye root up also the wheat with them. Let both grow together until the harvest. And in the time of harvest, I will say to the reapers, Gather ye together first the tares, and bind them in bundles to burn them, but gather the wheat into my barn. Okay? And that's what's going to happen. And these Salaki, I'm just looking for a scripture. And these times we coming into, the Lord's going to have these angels, as I'm about to get. I was in the right chapter, right? Let me keep reading, actually. Yep. Right? I'm going to start at Matthew 13:48, which when it was full, they drew to shore and sat down, gathered the good into the vessels, but cast the bad away. So shall it be at the end of the world, which we're in the world, because it was said, right? Matthew's the 24th chapter says, this gospel shall be preached throughout the world, then shall the end come. And who is the end of the world? Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth. Okay? And we're at the end of this man's world. We're in the last few seconds of this world. So let me read again. So shall it be at the end of the world. The angels shall come forth and sever the wicked from amongst the just. Okay? And shall cast them into the furnace of fire. There shall be wailing and gnashing of teeth. Okay? So that's what's going to play out. And these when all hell breaks loose, the Lord already knows, okay, who, who's Israelites and who's not. Okay, the angels know as well, man. And when we come into this time when they're going to separate from who's who, okay, it's twofold, because they're going to separate, the wicked of our people, okay, the wicked himself, the devil himself, you Edomites, and these heathens, okay, from the elect. But it's also going to be them separating, the false grain, okay, heathen that look like Israelites from the actual Israelites. So this is what's going to take place in them times, okay? And the heathens, okay, if you're a heathen, you're going into slavery if you survive Jacob's trouble and survive the nuclear holocaust. And if you don't survive, you're going to be born through the heathens that's been enslaved by New Jerusalem, as it says in the scriptures. When we come down with these new bodies, we enslave the remnant of these heathens, man. Okay? All you heathen that die, okay, in Jacob's trouble and the missiles, okay, you're gonna be born through the slaves in our kingdom. Okay? So that's what's gonna happen. And all the Israelites, the wicked Israelites that die on this side, they're gonna be born righteous with the law, statutes, and commandments, and they will part in the through the elect, okay, in the kingdom. Okay? So that's how it's gonna play out. Okay? So that was just a real quick lesson. My breaks up, but Yahweh Ratazah, this was edifying. Call hello Allah Yahweh by Shem Shah. Shalom to the elect. Abad Babal, Abad Ha Ayapaya. Kwam Yasharala. Shalom to the elect once again. Shalom.